Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Final Whistle. We're back again. It's the three of us this time, and every time there's new news, there's something new, you know we got to talk about it. Let me pull myself in. You know we got to talk about it, and it's there's a lot of news going on. We haven't recorded in a while, so we just compiled all the events and all the stuff that has happened, and we're just going to talk about it and give our thoughts real quick. Today, I'm with Ibn, and I'm with Derek. It's an all Chelsea affair today. So,
well, no, we actually have a trader now, Miss. If you don't know.
Well, yeah, Derek's a first man, so maybe he can explain what's going on with his team. Let's start off with the biggest. I think the biggest news going on right now is at Arsenal, right? And Arsenal is 15th with 14 games played, right? I don't even laugh right now, but this is not what any of us expected. I think when we started, Derek, and you did a great job of explaining like the spine of the team. I went back to watch our last episode before this. I think after the transfer window when Partey signed, and Derek, you're talking about the spine of the team, and it was a great point because you talked about Leno, you talk about Gabriel as a defender, Leno the goalkeeper, Partey as the midfielder to organize everything, and Aubameyang. That just sounds great. Granted, none of us said that they were going to finish top 4, but we thought top 6 definite. We wouldn't be surprised if they sneak into the top 4 with that kind of team that they have. Everything that we said about this team has gone downhill since the opening, since the Manchester United win that they won 1-0. I spoke with Fred, our Arsenal fan. He couldn't make it today, but I did record a little segment with him. And let's just see what he had to say about the situation.
Before I start, remember when you asked me that question,
I
told you I don't want Arteta to be sacked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is Arteta's first season. And remember, he just had one window transfer, which he bought Thomas Partey and Gabriel, right?
Yeah, good players.
Yeah, and he has been our player, best player for the past matches. For the past 3 months, he has been our player for the past 3 months. You know,
Me and Gabriel, right?
Yeah, and you know, Partey, when he came in after the Man U game, he's been having injury problems and stuff. So what I'm basing on that I don't want Arteta to be leaving now is he just had a one window transfer, which he bought only 2 players.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see the January transfer. Let's see the players. I know Edu is doing a proper scouting. So the positions which we lack, Arteta will go for players to fix in there. So from there going, which is the second round of the league, and the Europa, then we will know if Arteta will be staying or he will be going. Okay. I know the expectation the fans was expecting from Arteta was too high because when he came, he won FA Cup and he won Community Shield, right? Yeah, that made the supporters' expectation went high. And now I can tell you, if you watch Arsenal players, how they play, they don't play as a team. They play as an individual playing. I can tell you like for a fact. Because Willian, I know in Chelsea, it's not Willian I see in Arsenal now. Pepe, as Pepe was playing in League, that's not the Pepe I'm seeing him in Arsenal. I've forgotten this player name. He was in the midfield yesterday with Mohamed Elani. He came from Real Madrid. I've forgotten. Ceballos. Last season, this guy was superb, but this season, he's totally flopped.
Yeah, but Fred, I see you blaming a lot of the players, which, I mean, when the team is playing bad, it's always not just on the coach. You can't, but you cannot replace all these players. Before Arteta came, you had the same players. They were not playing this bad. They're 15th. Right? Yeah, let's say this season is a wrap. This season, just finishing 10th is even okay. I mean, we're not talking about this season. But if you're going to keep Arteta through this bad spell, you must believe that in years coming, he's the guy. And you as a fan do believe that he's the guy to move this team forward?
Right now, that's what I'm saying. After the second window, which is January, and then after this season, I will say Arteta is a good manager or not.
Oh, so you want to give him time?
Yeah, that's why.
And Arsenal being 15th is not bad enough for you.
Let me tell you something. Before the league ends, Arsenal not going to be on the 15th position.
Well, they're not. I don't think they will be either, but still.
Yeah, but, it's a transition.
Okay.
A new coach, he's trying to build up something, but the players are not catching it.
What do you want as a fan if you were in charge?
I will give him up to the end of the season.
Even if he's out of Europa League in maybe February?
Yeah, I will give him up to the end of the season.
And at the end of the season, at what position or lower do you say, okay, he has to go?
We should below 10 position.
So 10th or under?
Well, I don't remember in Arsene Wenger days, we were below 10.
No, Arsene Wenger never finished in...
Unai Emery, no.
Yeah.
So if you're a coach, you break that record, meaning you are not good for us now.
Okay, so you want to give him time. If he finished 10th or above, you're okay with?
I'm okay with that.
And give him another year?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fred, everybody, we've all heard what Fred has to say. He thinks the coach needs to stay. He wants to give the coach more time. I'm not in that camp. I don't see how you can keep the coach. But before I give my thoughts, let me ask you guys what you guys think about the situation. Derek, as a Chelsea fan, I know you are, a bit impartial about it because I guess you wouldn't care what Arsenal does. But I
do care.
as fair and as honest as you can be, watching this team, how they play, is there any way that you can see that this coach deserves to stay?
I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans say he doesn't deserve to be there. He has to go, things like that. When he started the season, when when we came back from the lockdown, beat Chelsea, got the FA Cup, beginning of the season, won the Community Shield, I believe. Everybody was buzzing. All the Arsenal fans thought, yeah, this was it. And if you look at the signings they were able to get just based on, winning the FA Cup and then winning the Community Shield, it sounded great. But I feel they have been a bit unfortunate, in my opinion. Number one, they have a few guys who have come in who have to gel within the team to get it going. But beyond that, what I'm beginning to see is they've also kind of been hit with the Partey injury as well. So that's also another thing for us to look at. And Aubameyang, for some reason, is not firing like he used to fire. So that's also another problem. Do I think it's a manager problem? Partly, but I don't think it's entirely a manager problem. I don't think just, Arteta out and somebody in is going to fix the problem. I think they still need some time. I think, of all the managers they have had, after, Wenger left, they were all given a chance to go for a bit, at least one full season. So we see, what really is going to happen. I think Arteta needs a bit of time, but I can say that easily because it's not my team, right? I'm sure Arsenal fans are going to roast me to hear that, especially when they're 15th on the table. But I think for continuity and just for what he's trying to build, give him some time to kind of work through, whatever he has in mind. Let's get through the January transfer window. Let's get through the season. And then, they can take a decision. Mind you, this is going to be his first full season anyway. And he hasn't also coached any, professional team as the man in charge before. So there are quite a few things, not to say that I'm making excuses for him or anything like that. I just feel just give him time. Let him get through it, right? Let him get through it. But of course, if I was an Arsenal fan, I probably wouldn't be saying that. It's easier on my heart to say what I'm saying as a Chelsea fan.
You're probably being cynical at this point.
What was that?
You're probably being cynical. You probably want him there so that they can suffer. Because, Derek, I'm telling you, It's either you're a very compassionate, which you are. You're a very compassionate person, and maybe you give people chances. I'm not in that camp at all. And Ibn, I'll let you go before I get into this. Ibn, what do you think?
All right, no problem. So you guys remember early in the summer there was a song going on, "Parquet After Parquet." So I guess I still think they're still on the party. Like, honestly speaking, with the whole transfer that they did make, and then again back to allude on Derek's point with them having the whole structure, the whole spine. I feel like it has been a flop. Even without Partey playing fully, I still feel like the team should be able to perform enough. Because mind you, they do have some older generational players on the team. Mm-hmm. So with Partey being injured or not, there are certain games that they shouldn't be losing. Like for Burnley, for example, like you shouldn't be losing that game.
Yeah,
you should be losing that game. So what more excuse can we make for Arteta at this point? I feel like Arteta has basically lost the dressing room. And I feel like it has to do with maybe age gap. This guy's not like that old. Like he's around the same age.
36, 37 years old. I mean.
Exactly. So I feel like there isn't that much like maximum respect given to him.
Mm-hmm.
And how does a team perform each weekend and get a red card? Is this a manager problem or is this a player problem? The manager doesn't play the game. The manager doesn't play the game.
Yeah.
The manager just chill. He just gives you the tactics. You go, you perform, and then he just like adjusts the game out as it goes or as it progresses. So if anything, I personally feel like it's a managerial problem. Aside from it being a managerial problem, I still feel like it's a leadership problem within the team. Why? Aubameyang is an experienced player, played in France, played in Germany, and now in Arsenal or at Arsenal, captain and whatnot. If you don't have the spark to motivate your players or your team members to participate in whatever you guys have going on, there is nothing that's going to happen for you guys. And that's the result that you have right now, 15th. Willian at Chelsea was on fire. Now Arsenal, I feel like he's on vacation. I just feel like he's just making like just chilling. David Lewis, a captain. He used to be a co-captain or a captain at Chelsea. He's not being fully used at Arsenal. So what's the whole point of you signing all these quote-unquote experienced players, quote-unquote players that can motivate the youth on your team? Because technically Arsenal is a young team as well. So what's the whole point? Like if a manager cannot really like integrate older generation to a new generation, then there's no point. There's no point of you having them. Contrast, real quick. I know I'm going long and on, but this is something that's really dear to me. I just need to talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead. I actually have a point to make also, but go ahead.
So you know how when Arsenal beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final? I might digress, but this is how I feel about it. People were like, "Oh, he's the future," blah blah blah, and that's exactly what Derek said in the beginning. They beat us in the FA Cup final. They beat Man City, Community Shield. It might not count for a lot, but it's Man City. Like, come on. This basically painted a picture as to, Arsenal is back in the game. And we all agree that, hey, they're not even going to make top 4, but top 6. But for them to be a 15th right now in December is bizarre. And I feel like, if anything, worse comes to worse, it might even keep going down. Because remember, this weekend, we're playing them. And there is no way in hell that Chelsea is going to try to lose that game. No, we're not going to lose that game. So it's over.
Wait, who did it in the Community Shield game? Was it Liverpool or Man City?
I think it was City, if I'm not mistaken.
No. Liverpool.
It was Liverpool. Okay.
Yeah, it should be Liverpool.
The FA Cup winner plays the league winner.
You're right.
Yeah.
And they won on penalties. But
So you know why I said Liverpool? You know why I said City? Because I felt like last season City still won. But anyway.
So this is the situation, I think, how these things are happening, right? I think first impressions are everything, guys. Like, first impressions paint a picture for a person in society and everything. Arteta's first impression was FA Cup and Community Shield. So he has bought so much equity in this, the mind of the fans, and like the way that you're describing it. Without that FA Cup win, I do not think you would be saying that, and I do not think anybody else would be saying that he needs more time. He bought so much equity in, man. His first impression was so great that people believed in it. They were talking about it, and then it kind of they bought into it. Now it's very hard to get out of it. It's very hard to like, if he hadn't won anything, he would have been gone already.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't have the pedigree. He doesn't have any like history of winning. That's his first job. So the benefit of the doubt, he's never going to get. But the first impression he made on the team is the reason why we're hesitant on letting this guy go. The team is 15th. It's not about players being out of form and Partey being injured, Derek. Partey being injured is not the reason why you're 15th. Right, Aubameyang not scoring is not the reason why you're 15th. The whole team. I was watching the Carabao Cup game today. The team has given up on the manager, guys. I'm looking at players walking, throwing up their hands. They're not marking. They're not doing all these things. And I do not think that. I think there is a divide in the team because of the Ozil situation and because of a lot of decision that he's made. He's 15. We fired. Chelsea had Jose Mourinho won the league in 2014, 2015. The following season, he was 16, and we fired him. Mourinho is Chelsea's greatest manager ever, and we fired this guy in December. We have seen, what do you call it? Di Matteo won the Champions League for us. The following season, it did not go in, but we fired him. You have got to be ruthless in this situation. In these kind of jobs, because you sitting there thinking that it's going to get better. It's not going to get better. It's only getting worse. There's nothing
But that philosophy is typical to Chelsea, though.
Well,
it works.
It works. We do not sit around and just.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I know it works, but I'm saying let's not put that on Arsenal because that's not Arsenal.
Yes, that's the problem. If it's Arsenal, that's the problem.
But why can't we put it on Arsenal? Arsenal is not in a drought. Like aside from just recently winning this, they've been in a drought for like a good round. So why can't we just put it for them too? Arsenal was a team back in the day. They used to win like league. They used to win FA Cups. So what happened to them?
So here's my thought, right? What I'm beginning to think is the reason or what is probably going on is I don't think the players have stopped playing for Arteta. I honestly don't think so. I don't think that he is that complicated, that controversial as a person. If it was Mourinho or somebody like that, I probably would have said, oh, yeah. But he's not that person. I forgot who told the story.
Derek,
I don't know whether it was. Yeah.
Do we know?
Uh-huh.
Do we know that Arteta is not that kind of person? Because he's only been the manager for a year. We do not know this.
Yeah, but it's gonna come out somehow. I mean, you're gonna see it, you're gonna hear it. If sometimes, even with Lampard, right? When fights happen in the dressing room, somehow it comes out. We're gonna learn about it some way, somehow. The point I'm trying to make is, I forgot who told the story, whether it was David Lewis or somebody else, and then they were like, in Chelsea, when we lose games and we go back into the dressing room, it's almost like somebody died. It's like mourning. Like everybody is so sad. The team is beat up. Everybody is just beating themselves down and saying, oh, why did we lose this game? But in Arsenal, when they lose games and they go into the dressing room, it's almost as if nobody cares. It's like, yeah, it's just one of those games. I forgot who told that story. But I feel that is the mentality between, an Arsenal team and some of these other teams. Right? I'm not sure. Was it Fabregas? It was somebody who told that story, Yeah. It's a team that they're not quite inspired by a loss. Chelsea is inspired by a loss. When we lose, we're coming back. But with these guys, they can just play it off. I'm not quite sure whether, and if you look at the social media dynamics of their players, they're so laid back, they're just chill. I'm not really sure who created that or who put that type of culture into the Arsenal team, but I think they're a little too laid back for me. Yeah. And sometimes as a manager, it can be extremely hard to motivate a team that has this type of DNA drained into the player.
This job is too big for a first-year manager then.
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah.
I don't think it's too big for him though. So, okay, what happened post-lockdown till now? Because post-lockdown till now, I believe
It's always the new manager syndrome, right? If you get a new manager, he comes in. It's almost like getting a new girlfriend. You're excited, and after a year, like, oh, I'm not that excited anymore.
Exactly. And the real managers sustain it. The real managers are not just a 3 month. It's not a little 3 month,
interim position.
Go back to normal, and that's what happened with Arteta. That's my problem. Is the reason why I'm not believing in him because I think he's being found now. He lucked his way into the FA Cup. Let's be honest. He lucked his way into the FA Cup.
That game we should have won.
Granted, they won it and fair to them, but like the way that they won the game, it was kind of like destined to be. The situation that happened with Chelsea, just destined to be with them. I have not been impressed yet with him winning a fair bit of game because when he came in the league position, they did not improve as much. They finished 10th, right?
Yeah.
They haven't improved as much. The FA Cup win, I'm telling you, has blinded us all, and that's why we need it.
They're doing the party after party after party.
So let's wrap this up real quick. Let's wrap this up. Just your final verdict, Derek. I mean, I know what you have said, but if you were the Arsenal board, you're gonna keep him? How long are you willing to keep him? When is it gonna be a trigger where you're like, okay, I gotta pull the plug on this?
Hey, if they're gonna get another manager like Lumberg and the likes, then no, keep this guy, right? Yeah. But if you have like an Allegri of some sort, then I think I'll be up for it. Yeah.
So, at what point do you let him go, or is this something? And what has to happen?
I would say end of season.
Okay,
I would say end of season. At this point, you can't. Yeah, end of the season, right? To just see what happens. But if you really, really want to kick him out, make sure you have a strong replacement because you can't move from, hot.
Yeah, but they can't be worse than this, Derek. They cannot be worse than this. It's only up from here.
Hey, somebody could take them to relegation, man.
So you want to give him end of season. Evan, what do you think?
Hey, Derek, can I say something quickly, though, to your point, before I even answer the question? So what if we wait to the end of the season and Arsenal, God forbid, hypothetically speaking, they get relegated? What do we do that?
Well, that would be a problem, though.
But anyway, to my point, I feel like with the current status at Arsenal, I honestly it's time to let him go. Why? Because Arsenal has already been built a tradition of winning, although they've had the hiccups and there has been a change in culture. I still feel like they can improve with the squad that they currently have, especially if they do have the right manager. As you mentioned, Allegri is available.
Does he want to come, though?
Is he available, though? I don't know. I just threw it out there. He's the type of manager I would back.
Yes.
He wants the job, though. I mean, Allegri can get the PSG job. He can get a lot of jobs. I don't know if he wants the Arsenal job, guys.
We're forgetting one person. What's his name? Come on. John Tom, what's his name? Come on. He used to coach Spurs. What's his name? I just lost his name.
Pochettino's also available.
Yeah, Pochettino's also available, but I don't know if he wants
that guy wants the next level. He's not going to take another team like that and fight. No, he's done the fighting.
The Arsenal job right now is it's not if coaches have options, they're not going to take this job. Derek, you just talked about Pochettino when the guy's unemployed and he will not even take the Arsenal job. The guy doesn't have a job, but he was like, I'm good. Right? So, I mean, I would let him go. I would get, because what Chelsea would do is, Chelsea does it all the time. They fire the coach, get an experienced guy like Gus or Rafa Benitez for like the rest of the season, and then reboot at the end, because it's hard to get a coach now. You probably have to wait till the end of the season.
Like a Sam Allardyce or something.
Yeah, so but at this point, it's survival rate, guys.
But honestly speaking, like if Arteta should be fired tomorrow morning, what are like the realistic options that Arsenal have? That is going to make any difference.
That's my thing, though. They cannot get anywhere. They have to get somebody who can get there and be like, listen, guys, like he has some kind of authority. Like I think they need authority. I think the guy is too young and he doesn't strike fear or like respect into these players, honestly. And that's what I think the problem is. So I think they need a grown up that can stand there and be like, listen, this, and that, and third. You know?
Yeah. But I don't feel like it has. I don't think it has to do with your age or anything. I honestly feel like how you approach situation is what makes the difference. Like,
He seems pretty professional to me. When I look at him, I think
looks like, but we don't know what happens.
Yeah, right. There's a huge difference between a manager and a coach. I think he's a very good coach. He's not a great manager. Well, not yet at least. So
not yet. I mean, it goes with experience, but I feel like him not. But wait, he worked with Pep. That experience should be enough.
No, that's not enough.
I feel like that's enough.
It's a different case when you are an apprentice and when you are the man. It's a different responsibility.
There is a difference. There is a difference in responsibility, absolutely. But I feel like whenever you learn from the best teachers, you can always replicate stuff.
Yeah, but I mean,
so there is no way that we can give this guy a pass. Like, I'm not giving him a pass. I feel like I'm not giving, regardless of him winning the FA Cup, regardless of him winning.
I just think this is the wrong job for him. I'm not saying he will not be a great coach, but I think this job is just too big for him at this point of his managerial career. That's all I think. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what it entails. I would not be surprised if I was me, I would fire him right now, honestly. So we'll see how this goes, but it seems like Arsenal is still giving him time. Maybe it's great to see how they do. But so yeah, let's transfer.
You know what I said?
Huh?
I said I think they might end up getting relegated. Looking at how things are going.
No, I
know that for sure.
I don't think Arsenal is getting relegated. No chance. It's not happening.
But I also don't think that Arteta is all of a sudden going to shoot them up in the table. If they play them, that's going to happen.
You know what would be crazy though? That they beat Chelsea this weekend.
That's what I'm saying.